Welcome to the Centre EMBA Festival with Poets and Quants. My name is Matt Symonds. I'm the co-host with John Byrne and the team at Poets and Quants, your host for a day that is, well, a day that's devoted to you and your personal and professional development, as we'll be meeting with senior admissions and alumni of many of the world's leading executive MBA programs. We never stop learning, right? And the talented and dynamic individuals that you'll meet today are a great demonstration of that, their commitment to moving forward and not asking themselves, well, what if? They've just done it. So let's unlock the next exciting chapter of your life. And it's my pleasure to welcome Omowumi Ogwe. She is the managing partner of GLG Communications. She might not tell you this, but she's an award-winning PR and reputation management leader with over a decade's experience in media and communications. MD, as we said, with GLG based out of Lagos, Nigeria, the first female president of the Life Coaches Association. My sense is that she could probably fill this EMBA classroom all by herself with what she would have to share with her HEC classmates. She's joined by Massimo Spagnola, who is the director of recruitment at HEC Paris for the Exec MBA and another portfolio of programs from this leading European business school. His career has taken him from Brazil to Brussels, Shanghai, Singapore, and now, of course, to France with HEC Paris. Both of you, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Massimo, I mentioned HEC Paris as one of the leading lights among international business schools. So perhaps your take on HEC. Tell us a little bit about the school, its values, and perhaps what makes it so special.
Well, thank you so much, Matt, for having us both. And I'm very glad to be here too. I can see there's a few participants already, and really glad for us to. I'm always very happy to talk about HEC and what makes our program special. Because when I joined HEC, I also resonated a lot with its values and its mission. And obviously, when we talk about HEC, we're looking at a business school. That's how we typically define ourselves. But what I like to think is that we're more than that. We're really trying to be a force for, let's say, transformation. And our mission, I think, is based on three main pillars that we usually mention quite a lot. Is the we think, we teach, we act. See, we think is that we are trying to really invest in knowledge creation, something that goes way beyond just academic circles, something that has a real impact on society, on businesses. When we talk about teaching, it's more about the way we try and innovate in the way we deliver our teaching. And also acting is more of trying to act with a strong sense of purpose. That will be acting with sense of purpose towards ecological transition, sustainability, social impact, diversity. All of these are very, very important to us. But what really resonates with students when they start their transformative journey with us at HEC is the values. We have 5 main values, which are excellence, curiosity, diversity, responsibility, and then entrepreneurial spirit. And you can sense that DNA in the classroom, on campus, when you speak with students, usually they will resonate with 1 or 2 when they start. And by the end of their program, they become a better professional, they become a better person. And there's 1 or 2 more that they discovered. So if you ask me what makes us stand out, I would say that first is definitely our location. We're in a beautiful campus right outside of Paris in Jouy-en-Josas. And we're also on a plateau called the Paris-Saclay Plateau, which is an innovation hub here in France. And we partner with local top engineering schools like École Polytechnique, like ENS Paris-Saclay. We partner on things like an innovation center, the HEC Paris Innovation Center, or we also have master's program based on data, on entrepreneurship, on innovation, on AI. All of that really fosters something that is very special for students. Second, I would say is our reputation. We've been here for a very long time. HEC is a standalone business school for 144 years now. We have alumni, 80,000 alumni in 152 countries. Wherever you go, you can meet an HEC alumni. And of course, we're also very proud to be one of the highest producing CEO and CFOs business school out there. So that's also what makes the network special. They come from different backgrounds and they really help you go further in the program and also once you finish it. And if I could just conclude with one is, I think HEC is special in a way that we have created a very strong entrepreneurial ecosystem. That we have an entrepreneurship and innovation center that is partly based at Station F. That's obviously the very active hub for startups. And we provide specialized support for ventures that go into that are very impact driven, that go into deep tech. We have our creative destruction lab there too. And so again, that entrepreneurial DNA, you can see it in every part of our EMBA.
Right. Now, Omawumi, obviously, HEC Paris is one of the top schools in the world, but still, there you were with a very successful career, leadership role of your business, award-winning. We were talking offline of how right now one of your clients winning an award and everything that you juggle. So this idea to go back to school and get yourself an exec MBA, just can you talk to our viewers about that decision-making process and then ultimately why you chose HEC?
Thank you for that, Matt. And I maybe should hire you to introduce me at different places all the time. I don't know if I can pay. Uh, yeah, so for me, I've always been someone who set goals. And this has been a part of my life since I was way younger, because my father would always give me like a journal every new year. And I would just write. I didn't understand goal setting, but I just used to write maybe 10 things I wanted to achieve in the year and all of that stuff. And so when I finished university, I wrote that I wanted to do my EMBA. I said MBA actually. And so, but I didn't start at that time when I wanted to do it. I just kept on working and all of that stuff. And when I started my own business and everything just started growing in career, I knew I wanted to do EMBA. So after the COVID, I felt like it was time to start because all that we knew was sort of shifting. And the thing is, you always, no matter how smart you think you are, there's always, that learning. The day we stop learning, we begin to die. And I knew that it was time for me to go and get my EMBA. And so I needed to do that. It's not like I was looking for a new position or anything because I run my own business. However, you can always aspire to be more, get more knowledge, and even build your network, something that is very critical for me, not just as an entrepreneur, but also the kind of industry that I'm in. And so this is why I wanted to, get my EMBA, and that's why I applied, to do that. Yes.
Well, Massimo was talking about students from over 150 countries, great presence on the African continent, as Qatar, in addition to France. So, as you thought about HEC, was it important to you to be in this very internationally minded classroom?
Very important for me. The thing is, even before HEC, I'd gotten admission into three other institutions, and they were literally just waiting for me to say, okay, yes, different, like countries. And there was one night I was browsing, just, doing some checks on online, and I saw HEC, and I just, kept on reading. I looked at the subjects and the things that they were teaching, the programs. It really aligned more to my growth needs and the kinds of things that I wanted. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to apply again. Imagine somebody and it was really almost close to the deadline and all of that stuff. So I just really did all that, applied, and went to do it. The thing that I love the most is also with the internationality of it. Because at the end of the day, I did not want to play small. I wanted to meet different people. I love meeting people. It's one of my greatest, passions. And I am in public relations, as you said. The relations is really, relationship. And so I needed that part, just seeing different people coming from different places. Because even though you're learning in the class from the professors, you're also learning from the people who you're surrounding yourself with. And so it was intentional for me to be in that kind of environment. And HEC really fit my needs. And the schools that I got admission into, they're very solid institutions. So it wasn't like they were, of the way. And I got even some scholarship, but HEC felt more tuned to the things that I needed to achieve. And I went there, and I'm very grateful for that. Like you talked about the people coming from different parts. That has been, I'd say, greatest blessing for me, the people.
I can imagine Massimo and his colleagues doing a little dance when you actually accepted the HEC offer, and here you are, and now an ambassador for the school. Massimo, Omar was talking about not just learning, of course, from the faculty, but all of your classmates. So tell us a little bit about the typical class, where they're coming from, and also how you can then maybe specialize. You talked about entrepreneurship among many other aspects to really personalize the program.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think our executive MBA, we've tried to keep it as intimate as possible, if I can use that word. We welcome, I think, around 250 students a year, and we keep our class size between 35 to 50. So that helps, to just really keep the class at a human level, so you can actually build meaningful relationships. That's what Omawumi was talking about. That helps you in a group project or during your intensive classes to, bridge that gap between you coming from a background that's very different than someone coming from a completely different one, and those relationships are meant to last way beyond the classroom. That's the goal. And I think really keeping those class size small really help with that. But again, one of the most exciting aspects, as you say, is our specializations. So our specializations, there's 8 of them. They go from governance to AI to obviously entrepreneurship. And everyone has to pick one by the end of their 3rd month. So that's a very important choice in this program. So to guide you through that choice, usually get a set of presentations from the professors that designed and are actually going to deliver the track. So we do that to make sure that the choice that students make really align with their professional goal. It's very important. When Omawumi was talking about what she wanted to get out of the program, is that she already defined before coming what was her why, and something that comes back a lot. We really want students to know, why are you doing this program? What do you want to make out of it? Um, Oh, and the last element that is obviously very, very important, it's again back to the international part, is that you have to think that those specializations run along other top business schools. So think Wharton, Babson, Imperial, Bocconi, and that again makes their learning journey truly, truly international and a lot more enriching for students.
Omawumi, I make lists too, but I'm not sure that I tick everything that I put, those 10 things that I put on my list. Now, you had identified business school, and here you are running a successful business, now adding your studies. So tell us a little bit about the learning and how you've personalized the program, but also that balance between the studies and then bringing all of that learning back into your work.
Yeah, I think what it did for me, because the program that I did was a January intake, which is every two months you travel, because I was shuttling from Lagos, Nigeria to to France for my studies. And it wasn't a far trip. I had even some of my classmates coming from Australia, New Zealand, and America. Yes, they were coming. And so it was great. So I had to even just sit my team down and say, I'm going to school. I don't have to be like with this time that I want to be in class, because and I really loved the idea of having that 1 week where you are focused, in class. And the beauty of it is there was a hotel just in the school premises that was just easy for me to stay and move. So it was very easy for me and my team it made them to take more ownership and, grow. And then once I learned some of these things from the class, when we have our team meeting, I implement them. There's some exercises that we do as well. Just learning and taking in the notes and being able to implement immediately. That was very good for me. Also, because my first degree is in the medical field, and then I got into TV and moved into, PR and all of that. So maths wasn't, I did maths in my higher, secondary education is what we call it in Nigeria. And I was good at it then, but when I dropped it. So I didn't know all this accounting. But one of the courses that we had to do was accounting. And it's important, as a leader, you need to at least know where the money goes. You're not necessarily the CFO, but you should know how it works. And so that corporate accounting was a bit of a struggle for me. But when we were doing the group work, um, because I had some CFOs in my class, some people who were like top director level in banks. So I had them in my groups and they really helped me. Until today, it just helped. Even just as simple as doing Excel, maths, and all these things. It helped me. And I got, I think, a B also in that corporate accounting because of my classmate. They taught me how to do it. And I'm implementing all of that now in my business. So that was very good, for me. I'm just being able to teach even my team some of these things, just bring it back to them and they're able to take ownership and learn, and even just become a better leader for my team, because we had some leadership courses. Because like you said, the first female president of Life Coaches Association. So there's all of this angle, leadership. I'm in some boards. So you want to improve. And there's all the courses that I've been able to, take and learn firsthand, and just being able to implement it immediately. So that has been really great.
I love this idea. We started by talking about your own personal and professional development, but how you've extended that to the ownership and opportunities it's given to your team, and of course your business that's benefiting from everything that you're learning. Now, Massimo, Omawumi also talked about the power of these diverse, talented profiles all coming together for a week, and the focus that brings. As you think about what differentiates the Exec MBA, there are plenty of stackable short courses. You can upskill with AI online. What is it about this commitment to the Executive MBA you think that really makes the difference in that development?
I think that there are a few things that I think truly define what our MBA is all about, and that goes way beyond just format or ranking. Like the first, and I'll circle back to those 8 specializations, because I think they actually cover some critical themes. Um, Again, when you talk about governance, when you talk about entrepreneurship, innovation, all of that is of course buzzwords. But when you listen to students talking, like Omaumi talking about the fact that they have some very easy elements that they can implement in their business the moment they go back during the program, you have an immediate positive impact on what you're doing. That's what we want to hear. And also, those specializations, again, they involve in-person modules. So you travel quite a lot. You have different experiences, international experience. Again, back to this international learning journey experience. I think the second thing that I didn't mention before, but that's our capstone projects. The capstone project is absolutely not a theoretical paper. It's a real applied project that is highly personalized, that can take many, many different forms. And the importance of that project is I think it's again about the fact that when I said that we want to be a force for transformation, that's one of the most transformative things that students go through. Over 50% of the students go live with their capstone project. I could name a few success stories, but there's plenty. We have one here. We have some on the website. There's people like Arnaud Dodon that did leadership initiatives as the capstone project. You can read about it. It's very, very inspiring. And on top of that, because it's quite a demanding part of the program, you have a capstone advisor that will be there as a mentor, but also as a subject matter expert. I think that's the second thing. And the last thing that truly defined our EMBA, once again, I think it's our emphasis on entrepreneurship. We really value that, the power of initiative. One of our main motto at HEC is learn to dare. We're trying to give you the elements to dare more. So we even have 2 specializations that focus solely on that. There's one called Test Your Startup Project, and the other one is Innovate Like an Entrepreneur. And because we're part of HEC's wider ecosystem, students from the EMBA have access to Station F, but also to our deep tech and social entrepreneurship networks.
Right. Now, of course, we want to find out about your capstone project, but also as I think about this network that you built, of CFOs and the talent across different organizations, so that network beyond the classroom, the culture of you're on the outskirts of Paris, so travel and perhaps class visits, what that community's meant. But let's start with the capstone. What did you focus on?
Yeah, it's public relations, but really just showing the power of PR and how to expanding my business. Because again, another reason I wanted to come to Europe was because I also wanted to expand my business to Europe, since we're getting some requests, some jobs to do, and all of that. For example, just this June, I would always go to Cannes for the Cannes Lions Festival, because it's the biggest event in my industry. And so you want to be able to, if you want to say do something in a certain area, you need to go to that area to learn. And this is one of the reasons why I'd come to HEC to that. And so the capstone was and you get like a really, supervisors who can help you in the area of your focus, who have expertise and experience. And so my capstone supervisor was someone who also, has business in different areas in the GCC region in Europe and in Singapore. So they brought a lot of, insights into the mix, and everything was very valuable. And you do that. Even somebody in my class had done a capstone that was very impactful and inspiring. So a medical doctor, and she did something about women in I think it's Iraq or one of these, countries that are, going through a lot of either Iraq or Morocco, somewhere like this, but very impactful for mothers about motherhood and safety in childbirth and all of that stuff. So you see that the capstone can be used beyond you, can be used to drive, impact, and even just write your name in gold.
Mm.
And
Mm.
that was that. And like Massimo was talking about the specialization. Specialization for me was a major, major, major benefit, major plus. My specialization was luxury because I wanted to also attract more luxury clients, and so I chose luxury specialization. And it was taught in Paris, in Milan, in New York, and these are the three luxury capitals of the world. And just being
Mm.
able to go to XDA Bocconi to meet some of these lecturers. From there, I met someone who is we went to Versace home, and I met the founder there. We were able to connect. And, beyond that, the next day or so, I had tea with her. And another time I invited her to speak at one of our events virtually, and that's the beauty of this kind of, institution and education that you're getting is beyond the four walls of the classroom. Even one of the professors who is so vast in, the Italian Alto Gamma, she was able to come to one of our events and speak to people. That's just the beauty of that. So I would encourage, anyone who wants to do this, go with your eyes wide open and with your heart open to meet people and to connect and to learn, just even in New York and all of these things, and just seeing how the industry is opening up. That has been a really great benefit for me. Just also 2 weeks ago, there was a luxury summit in Switzerland, and they were invited me to come because they see that I specialize in that. So there's a whole benefit that we can get from that. You just being able to plan your life properly beyond
Right.
the classroom.
Massimo, it's opening so many new doors. Those influential connections. They become a speaker at one of your events. You get to go to New York and Milan and look at the
Yeah.
luxury sector. Now, that's a lot to take on. And of course, all of the talented individuals that joined the HEC Paris program are balancing between work, life, academics. How do you support them in priorities and managing to keep on top of everything?
It's not an easy one, that's for sure. We understand that if you're a high stake professional, you have this very, very busy life. We have to balance your personal one and this will to be a learner again and take on this big challenge. So we've tried to make this program from the ground up very accessible to those professionals. We wanted it to be part-time, to be highly flexible. There's two main formats that we offer, depending on what you prefer. There's one called the weekend format, where you have to be there on Friday and Saturday hold on. I think it was every 2 weeks. Yeah, it's every 2 weeks. Sorry. And the other one is one intensive week every 2 months. So
Mm.
depending if you want to be in the rhythm, you can choose one or the other. So that's the first thing. But at the end of the day, you have 50 days in person, you have 21 days online, and then you have another 8 to 10 hours of digital content that are asynchronous, so you can do that at your own rhythm.
Mm.
Again, this is not an easy one. It's very demanding. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be there to push you outside of your comfort zone, to try and push you somewhere else. You maybe you had some old habits, but this is going to give you a brand new vision on business, things that you're going to learn again, or just a different perspective on how you can do things. But there's also people here on campus to help you. There's a dedicated program manager, someone that knows your cohort that can help you with little logistical operational things that you might need to find an answer to. So there's person there, and there's this extra thing that I think, if you've experienced it before, career coaching is one of the most liberating thing you can do as a professional. And here you have unlimited access to executive career coaches. When you speak to students, they usually tell you this has been a turning point in their leadership development, and that's for a very specific reason. It's there's the executive career coach, but also in every single module you have something called the PPD, which is the personal and professional development, that also take you through a three-phase process to help you pitch yourself to the market, to know the markets, and things like that. So again, a lot of added value there.
I'm sure a career coach would have scratched their head if they'd met me in my mid-20s, but maybe in my mid-30s or a little later on, more experience, and how that really then helps you to to find that sense of purpose, the direction. Omawami, just hearing the passion and enthusiasm. Now, your advice to our viewers, as you reflect on that experience, what worked, how you managed to balance anything, any advice that you would give to someone that's thinking of that step and about to begin an executive MBA program?
Yeah, I'd say, start now. You were talking about, I think it was about, there was a session before I joined in, and the person was talking about how, people procrastinate about wanting to do the EMBA and, just procrastinate. Start now and know what you want. I'm going to tell you, even people in my class, my classmates, many of them have gotten promotions or they've moved to bigger companies, bigger roles. Another friend of mine, every day on LinkedIn, I'm just like, oh, congratulations, congratulations. That's what is happening. And, because you're able to differentiate yourself, and it's about the value that you bring. And it's really this education, the experience, and all of that stuff. So I'd say do it, make a plan for what you want and do it. It's, just being able to balance. It works if you can plan your life properly. It wasn't, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, the time, because I am an entrepreneur, but people who were like, career people, they were able to, and I like to work. I love working. So it was a bit difficult to move from the work, but just being able to have the 1 week, that's the one that I chose. Look for what works best for you. There's some people who choose the, 2 weeks in and out. It depends, just find what works for you and do it. It's not, before you blink, it's over. Sincerely, it's finished. It's just 1 year and you're done and you've graduated and you have this prestigious degree that you can use to improve your life, whether you're a career professional or an entrepreneur, or even thinking of, going into entrepreneurship. There's a station F, there's the career coaching was very beneficial. Even me, I took, had some sessions there. And there's the alumni, the HEC alumni. For me, I may be biased, but I believe is the biggest and most influential in the world. There's nowhere that I'm going. I travel a lot. There's nowhere that I'm going that I'm like, hey, I'm going to be here. Do we have any HEC person here? Somebody's meeting me for coffee. Somebody's supporting me and helping me, and introducing me to the next person. You're just never alone anymore. You have that help. And your network really is your network. It's not a lie. And the HEC Alumni Network is just amazing. I would
Yeah,
say
it's
if
like
you
it's
go
like
to school
a
for
who's
that,
who
I
of
would
business,
recommend.
right?
Yeah.
So that's just a final question for you, Omawemi, and then I want to come to Massimo as we close. Um, we know that you've got a mastery now of balance sheets and discounted cash flow, all of those accounting skills. But as you look back over the program, perhaps one thing that you've learned about yourself, self-confidence, leadership, what might that be? Something that's emerged from the program, and it's like, wow, look at that.
It's really about exposure. What you think you know, all that you know is all that you decided to know, that you've choose to know, and that the exposure, because you're thinking, I know all these things, I've been here, but there's so much more to know.
Mm,
And it's just that for me, and it's beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's all of that. It's the engagement with the faculty. It's activities. Even my class recently went on a trip together to Lithuania. Many people from there had not been to Lithuania. One of the members of my class has, put together the trip, and it's just amazing. So for me, it's really the exposure, and at the end of the day, that is what sets you apart. So
mm,
I'm just very grateful for that, because the amount of me that went in to HEC in January 2023, it's not the same person here. It's in leaps and bounds to growth. I'm not even trying to be, I like to say things the way they are. I'm not exaggerating when I say this.
Yeah, well, with the enthusiasm that you've shared, both of you, our viewers live with us today, and in the weeks and months to come, there are thousands and thousands that watch these Centre Court recordings. So Massimo, someone's like, right, HEC Paris, I want to find out more. I want to connect with the school. So what are some of the best ways for those prospective candidates to reach you and your team?
So the best way, if you want us to be able to guide you perfectly, I would highly recommend that you go on our website and try to fill out our introduce yourself form. We're going to ask a couple of information and be able to redirect you to our specialized recruitment manager. We can review your profile. We can discuss directly what we can do for you, guide you towards what is best in terms of, I mean, I'm sure you have lots of different questions. Even if all the information that we gave today was clear, it's probably not going to be enough and everyone wants to discuss their own profile, which is completely normal. Second thing is, if you're in France, you're welcome on campus. Come and check out our super nice campus. It's not winter yet, so it's still really, really nice to be here. And you can even sit on a class, something that I would highly recommend. Obviously, it's a great opportunity. We have networking events, alumni events that we typically invite our students that might consider HEC to. And then obviously there's virtual events. So on our website, we have a Meet Us page where we list all of the different events that we organize. We're also on the road quite a lot. So if you're not around, if you're not in Europe, maybe we'll be somewhere near you soon. So please check that out. And we are also found on LinkedIn, very easily found on LinkedIn.
Right. Well, I'm so excited that for a lot of people, their first connection has been with both of you, to be able to look at all of the aspects of the program. I promised talented and dynamic guests on the EMBA Festival, Omowami and Massimo. You are exactly that, wonderful ambassadors for the school. I guess if you're joining now the backstage green room to be able to connect with some of the viewers, and then in the months that follow, I'm sure they'll be reaching out. But a very personal thanks to both of you for getting us off to such a great start at the Centre Court Festival. Thank you.